What does the spiraling violence mean for Iraq's young democracy?
There is a lot of danger in Iraq. The surge in roadside bombings.
All tensions here are ratcheting up. The U.S. military has had to adapt its tactics.
How is it affecting troops on the ground in Iraq?
My name is Paul Rieckhoff. I'm an Iraq war veteran and the executive director of IAVA. I led an infantry platoon in Baghdad from 2003 to 2004. When I got home, I saw an America that was living life uninterrupted.
TV exorcism. Tom Cruise's new Scientology confession.
And this didn't look like a country that was at war. Like it or not, for better or worse, Iraq is the #1 issue facing America right now. We've got to get our head around it.
IAVA.
IAVA was founded when a group of veterans came home and cared about the direction of their country and wanted to do something about it. IAVA members are in all 50 states. It's the guy who played Little League with you. It's the everyday kid right next door to you who went off to war. We are a 21st century advocacy group. The internet has really revolutionized the way we can connect people around the world. We've got members who are inside Iraq who are blogging, and what we don't have in numbers, we're making up for in energy and in power. We fought on the ground in Iraq, and our new battleground is the airwaves.
Because this is a whole different war. This is a mental war I'm going through, and I got to strategize and play it smart.
The soldier's perspective wasn't being properly represented in the dialogue in America.
We're told time and time again by members of the Iraqi parliament that they're on the brink of a civil war.
In the theory that something's gone wrong, what is it?
We haven't controlled the insurgency, we don't control the borders, and over 1 million veterans are coming home with issues that the American people need to know about because it's more important than Brad and Angelina or Michael Jackson or any other crap that's coming in. What started really as a rumble has developed into a roar.
I was called to serve in Iraq because the government said there were weapons of mass destruction, but they weren't there.
He was an anonymous Iraq war vet until this ad.
Our veterans are really making the impact on the national dialogue.
The 23-year-old with post-traumatic stress disorder is just trying to get by.
I got home in April, and I didn't actually get in to see a psychiatrist until July of 2004.
Veterans groups are warning as military units keep returning from Iraq and Afghanistan, huge numbers at a time, there will be new strains on the system in the near future.
They've got films that have shown at Sundance, at Tribeca, documentaries to help people understand what's really going on inside Iraq and helping them to feel it.
When I Came Home is a documentary that looks at Iraq war veterans who return to find themselves homeless.
I hope people walk out angry.
IAVA is consistently 6 to 8 months ahead of the curve. We can help people understand problems before they arise, and we can help them craft solutions to make a difference. Post-traumatic stress disorder is one of the top issues facing returning Iraq and Afghanistan veterans.
We were trained to kill.
You know how you hear a commotion going on, but you don't know where it's coming from? That's why I hear in my head, boom, boom, boom. I just think it's just my rage.
Like when I go under a bridge or something, I be thinking like it'll be like a quick flashback.
Look at all this medication, man. Look at all the medication I've been through.
1 in 3 returning veterans will face PTSD, and over 1.2 million troops have rotated through theater, so that's a tremendous number of people who are going to be adversely affected. And we've got to do more as Americans to take better care of them. Nobody comes home from war unchanged.
Some of this nation's fighting personnel have not felt adequately protected by the gear the government has given them.
Inadequate body armor was a huge issue in the first few years of the war. IAVA was pounding away in the media, pounding away in the newspapers, trying to get people to understand that our guys in Iraq did not have adequate body armor.
Paul Rieckhoff, an Army combat veteran, says troops were forced to buy their own protection because the military's armor couldn't stop a round from an enemy AK-47.
Guys didn't have what they needed. I was a part of the initial invasion in Iraq, and 40,000 other people like myself did not have adequate body armor going into Iraq. That was uncalled for. In 2005, IAVA led the first organized group of Iraq veterans to meet with members of Congress. We met with Senator Hillary Clinton, we met with Senator Chuck Hagel, we met with Republicans, Democrats on the Armed Services Committee, on the VA Committee.
That's what's missing. You're asking, a 19-year-old who's got PTSD, who's just done a year in combat, whose wife or husband may have left him, to call 15 times a day.
And for the first time, members of Congress were forced to meet with an organized group of Iraq veterans. IAVA has also been involved in numerous pieces of legislation on the Hill in Washington. We're not just making noise, we're taking action.
I want to begin by thanking everyone for coming. This is really an important event.
IAVA is in the middle of a nationwide college tour that takes Iraq veterans around the country to put Iraq at the forefront of their minds.
I'm not sure how many of you know what a real Humvee is like, but the canvas Humvees basically have canvas for the doors and the top. So as I like to joke, anyone with a sharp stick and the will to do it could basically poke their way into your vehicle. I would recommend a Saturn if you wanted more defense than that.
These veterans are going to sit down and tell you their personal stories. They're going to tell you the good, the bad, and everything in between.
I grabbed it and I tried to throw it back out. And as soon as I wrapped my fingers around it, it popped. And it took my hand off. It broke both my legs. My left foot got shrapnel really bad. Both my legs have shrapnel. My arm still has shrapnel in it. And I was pretty much conscious throughout the whole thing.
And it's an emotional experience when you listen to a young man like Robert Acosta, who's 21 years old. When was the last time you sat back and actually heard a kid talk about the night he lost his arm? It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Leave it all behind. Let's have an honest conversation about the #1 issue facing America.
It's a different perspective than any other I've heard before on supporting the troops and everything like that. It's neither being used as a hedge or as a political bludgeon, and I find that very refreshing.
I hate it when soldiers are treated as a number and just a statistic or a death toll or a dog tag.
I think all it takes is a little nudge and you get people talking about issues that they really care about.
I didn't ask for this. I went over there and done it because it was the right thing to do for my country.
Look at what's going on. Look at the people that are getting killed. Look at the people that are getting hurt. Look at who's going.
Every veteran has a story. Every veteran has a name. Every veteran has a family. They're not just pieces on a chessboard. It affects real people. This is something that changes people's lives forever and will definitely change the course of America forever. The American public's not engaged enough in this war, and it is frustrating, but there's something growing in this country. People are becoming more involved, and veterans are leading the way.
The American public has a right to know the truth about this war.
These are young men and women from your community. They're young men and women without a political agenda. They're tremendous patriots who need your help. They need you involved, and we can show you how. It doesn't matter if you're pro-war, against the war, or still trying to sort it out. Everybody in America has a moral obligation to take care of the people who serve.
Sir, listen. Just because I haven't been there, don't think my opinions aren't as valid as yours. Okay?